Hello, this is Jeff Gilbert. The subject is your third month in your 90-day plan. And for those of you that do not know me, I've been involved in network marketing over 40 years. I share a lot of what I've learned in my journeys in network marketing on these live calls. I started in this business totally broke, sold a junk truck to get started, put $200 into my business. Last 27 years, I've been full-time in network marketing. So if that interests you, just keep listening. And Andrina, nice to see you in Texas. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Happy New Year's. Carlos Santana, good to see you. Happy New Year's. George in New York City, what's up, man? Yes. Good. I'm glad you are, Andrina, going to do your 90-day plan. That's exciting. And then Leah, nice to see you as well. Good to see you. Who else is coming? Let's see. Who else is joining us? Yes, Happy New Year's. And I'm wearing my Top Earner Club shirt tonight. That'll make Ray happy. Hey, baby, Michelle, love you. Good to see you. And Fernando, good evening from Mexico. Good to see you. Good to see you on the call as well. Nice to see you. And Georgiana, nice to see you as well. Happy New Year to you. Wow, it's hard to believe it's a new year, isn't it? It's amazing. Now, 2020, wow. So that's the thing, and what a way to begin it in January by doing a 90-day run, a 90-day, just a blitz, and go for it. Hey, John, nice to see you. Good evening. And let's see, Tweety, nice to see you as well. Happy New Year to you. And I wish everyone has a very happy 2020. You know, this is a great time because I think just in the United States alone, I've never seen like an entrepreneurial spirit like we see here. It's like a renaissance, a resurgence of people that want to be successful. Ciro in Utah, nice to see you. Lucino in North Carolina. Elizabeth, nice to see you in Peru. Georgiana says from New York. All right. Dominic in the Philippines. Good to see you. We're spread out all over the world already now. So just to, for those of you that are, maybe you didn't catch my other two lives I did, your first 30 days and your second 30 days in a 90-day plan, you know, I might want to just hit on a few basics of what that was about. Velma, nice to see you. The whole point of a 90 days run is not so much achieving the goals that you have planned in that period of time as what you become. And also the fact that, and what I mean by what you become is you're a totally different leader because you've gone outside your comfort zone and you've had to stretch. You've had to stretch. And anytime you stretch, that's called growth. Growth. And had you not had those goals, you would have never pushed yourself. So we have to understand it's what you achieve in the process that's more important than the goal itself. So even if you fail to reach the goal, you did not fail to grow. The second thing is that your team grew by numbers, by volume, by leadership, and also by your example. So that's another reason. Why do a 90-day run? Because many will say, well, why do it when most people fail at it? It's not a failure if you grew, and you grew your leadership, and you grew your team, and you grew your volume. You may not have hit exactly what you were looking for, but without setting those goals and that 90-day run, you would have never got started. And that's the problem. It's stagnation. And too many people stay in a state of stagnation in this business, and nothing's happening. It's like this time last year, they said they were going to get so much accomplished in a year, but because they didn't set any goals, they didn't do a 90-day run, and they didn't encourage others to do a 90-day run. Nothing really happened in their business. A year later, here they are, the same spot. Nice to see you, Yudoka. Nice to see you. So on your first 30 days, remember, it's mostly psychological, so much of it, because it's all about, if you have an existing team, putting the word out, either in your Facebook groups, in your WhatsApp groups, or if you have conference call, however you communicate, Zoom calls, however, putting the word out to your leaders, say, hey, I'm going to do a 90-day run. I'm willing to work with 6 individuals that are very serious about the future. They want to break some records. They want to stretch. They want to be, different this year. Let me know if that's you. Who wants to run with me? So if you have an existing group, that's great, because this is a way to get them. And again, it's not just them saying they're willing to do it. They have to understand that if you're going to commit your time and effort to them, then they got to commit to a schedule, and they can't vary. They can't vary. In other words, this is really going to be out of the norm for them. They're going to have to stretch. But the benefits are just like I mentioned earlier. And that's what they're going to get out of it. And they need to know all that. So much of that is just putting that out there. And if you're new, getting started, then it's a matter of, then you're going to prospect in a very intense way. Even if it's part-time, that's okay. Part-time, that's continual, not when you feel like it, but you're consistent, will see great results, excuse me. You'll see great results. If you're consistent, consistency is what wins, not showing up now and then when we feel like it. In most cases, we're never going to feel like it. So that's the thing. So then we understand that we're going to stretch, even if it's part-time, if it's full-time, or if you're able to put in a lot of hours, great. Obviously, the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. But the thing about it is consistency, even if it's an hour a day, that adds up a lot in your first 30 days. So again, the first 30 days, what's the objective? And that is, in your first 30 days here, in your first 30, so what you want to accomplish out of that is to find at least 6 drivers. And that's the goal. If you have an existing group, then just, and they don't all need to be in the same leg, okay? Because most compensation plans require a certain amount of volume per leg in order for you to move up in rank. So having all 6 in the same line is not what you want. That's not what you want. Whatever your compensation plan requires, if it's 3, if it takes 3 legs and you max out those legs, then okay, great. Then that's your goal. But again, keep in mind with me, in my first 30 days, or let's just say my 90 days, my goal was to establish enough drivers, and and I would say I had 8 or 9 after 90 days, but I had 800 members in my team. 800 members in my team. So the goal, again, is to identify the drivers. And so when you're getting started, that's what you want to do. You want to focus on finding the drivers. And then that's what I did 21 years ago. My first 90 days, I was able to establish that many drivers to work with. Now, that doesn't mean that they're always going to be with you, that they're always going to work out. No, some of them don't. As a matter of fact, my biggest leg, I can remember after 90 days, after I popped the champagne and was celebrating, that they decided to go off to the money games. And that's what they did. And of course, they're nowhere in life now. But what I did was, and this is something I'll talk about in a minute, was I worked with who they left behind. And one of those ended up being a superstar. So your first 30 days is just that, and that is to identify those drivers. If you've been in your company for a few years, do you have at least 6 drivers spread out that you can work with, and they're committed, they're serious, they're going to keep their scheduled commitments with you, they're going to do the things they said they were going to do, is find those 6 and just do that, and then just run with them. So whether you're new or whether you've been in for a few years, it doesn't matter. Know your drivers, find your drivers. That's the thing in your first 30 days. Then you remember your second 30 days. Second 30 days. Then what you wanted to do was what? Help those 6 drivers do what? Help find their 6. You could play with these numbers according to your compensation plan, but I'll tell you, these are basic fundamental numbers that usually end up being true. And so then what happens is in month 2, it's all about scheduling time for these 6 drivers. These 6 drivers. And you remember on those days, I talked about running a schedule where you could schedule time so that either on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, okay, then you got somebody that you're working with. Like on Monday it's Tom, and on Tuesday it's Debbie. I'll put Deb. Wednesday it's Julie. Thursday it's Tim. Friday it's John. And then Saturday, then it's Michelle. Okay? So those are the dates that you schedule in. Now that doesn't mean those are the only people that you work with on those days. That doesn't mean that. Okay? It just means that, hang on. I don't know why I get that light the way I do, but I do. Okay, so, let me see if I can adjust that. Yeah, maybe like that. Hang on just a second. Let me improve that light situation. I'm going to try to, I just realized I had okay, so that's the thing. So the point is you have a scheduled time and appointment for these people. And that's what you do. That's what you do. You schedule that time, you work with them, and you help them. And again, that doesn't mean that if Michelle needs to talk to you and you're working with Debbie on Tuesday, that you don't take Michelle's call or John's call or Tim's call. No. I mean, you get back with them. If you need to do a 3-way or a Zoom, then that's what you do. But the point is, you got a dedicated time that you're working with these 6 people. And that's what you want to do. And the result, again, is what? The result here is 36 individuals here. And out of those 36, then now what you're going to do is focus in month 3 on that. So your third month, you're going to focus on these 36. Now, that's a lot of people to work with. Now, you say, well, don't you have 6 drivers to work with the 36? Those 6 drivers saw you do the presentation, either online, offline. Those 6 drivers saw you explain the products. Those 6 drivers saw you overcome those common questions and concerns that people have. And you did such a great job. So they've seen it so many times that now that's called duplication, which is what you did, okay? And they know the onboarding process of how to invite people, how to use a video, or if you have a local meeting, you bring them to, either way. And then how to basically cover any objections that they have and then put them in your business. So they've seen you do that enough now because you scheduled a day for each one of the 6. So at least they've seen this repeatedly that they know it. But that's true. Even though that now that you've duplicated yourself so perfectly in those 6, they're still going to need your help. Why? It's life. Sometimes something comes up, a child gets sick, or they got something that came up, they're not able to work with somebody in that circle of 36. So in one of those 6 individuals' lines, then now you've got to throw yourself into it. And that's what you have to expect in your 3rd month. And even if you're not waiting for the phone to ring, what you want to do, and this is important, and this is one of the most important secrets to my success, and that's called taprooting. I taproot down into that group because I want to get to know those 36. Why? Because each of those 6 have what? 6 drivers now that they've established. Well, I don't know that those 6 that I established are going to stay with me necessarily. Again, like I mentioned, my biggest leg after 90 days quit, went after the money games, and then what I did was I had a choice. I could either quit or continue. I decided to continue. And so what happened was I reached down and got to know a woman, and she was like a diamond in a rough, and I started working with her. And she ended up being a superstar. She just needed some direction, some help, and she was not doing it right in the beginning. Always chasing doctors, and I'm like, doctors are great, in a wellness program, but they don't duplicate because they simply don't dedicate the time for it. Most don't. But anyway, I worked with her, and she finally learned how to find leaders and work with leaders and do it right. And then she drove a great international business. So the thing is, so what you want to do in that 3rd month is get to know those people that are a result of those 6 drivers that you worked with, those 36, because guess what they're doing now? They're doing what? Those 36 are getting what? They're 6. They're 6. Again, you could play with these numbers. If it's better suited, it's 5 for your plan, that's fine. It doesn't matter. The fact is, most of your volume, I don't care what company it is going to come from 1 or 2 legs. 1 or 2 legs, and that's it. So just understand that if it's 6 lines that you're working with, then chances are you're going to have a very strong, at least 1 or 2 legs that are very strong. The odds are more in your favor. So here's what you want to do in your 3rd month then with these 36. And that is, you want to taproot. Taproot means you want to look at your reports, you want to call down into your group, you want to get to know these people. Also, talk to your 6 who sponsored their individuals. Make sure you know who these people are. And then what you want to do is communicate with them regularly. Talk to them. You could have a special Facebook group with them. I have one team in the Philippines that I'd say there's like 35 drivers in the Philippines just in one of my legs. So, I'll have like a dedicated page just for that team. Why? Because you got to stay in touch and communicate with those drivers. Give them value, give them praise, give them recognition. It's very important that you do that. What did Napoleon said? And it's quoted in my book. And by the way, Reaching the Peak, if you haven't seen it, but it's called Reaching the Peak on Amazon. It came out in July. But here's what I quoted Napoleon. He said, give me enough ribbons to place on the tunics of my soldiers, and I can conquer the world. He said, give me enough ribbons and I can conquer the world. You know, how much does a ribbon cost? Very little. And so the point is, praise, recognition is something that you really want to pour on into that new group. I mean, feed the fire. I mean, this time of year, it's winter, and you know, you get a fire going, nice, it's warm, but what happens? It eventually dies down, doesn't it? It starts to burn out, and then what do you have to do? You have a choice: let it die or feed it. In this case, you want to feed these 36, and you want to pour it on. You want to taproot, call down to them, say, hey, I want to introduce myself. I don't think I know you that well. Or if one of those 36 in their team, and they sponsor 6 each, okay, now you're really rocking and rolling. You want to get to know the people who are taking your business seriously, and you want to communicate with them regularly. The great thing about that is that out of that, you know, out of that 36 here, that you're going to, here you are, and then you've got your 6 drivers here, and then you got, you know, your, 36 here, and then over here you've got all these leaders down here. Well, all you have to do is simply, you notice there's some volume happening down there on your reports. There's this woman called Sue, and then what do? You come down to her and say, hey, I'd like to get to know you. I see you're doing some really great things. I'm so excited to have you in my team. I'm so excited to have you in my team. And I just want to reach out to you. Anything you need, any kind of support, just know that I'm going to be there for you. See, that's the thing. And by the way, when you complete your 90 days, then those leaders here that were involved in your especially your initial success, your 6, and possibly several of those of the 36 who are really in the game, you know, you can get everybody together. I know one leader I have she's getting together with her leaders down in Houston, Texas, in 2 days. She's got a designated place. They rented some big house, and then they're just going to go out and have fun, but they're also going to spend some time strategizing and all that. So that's something that you can do with your leaders. Again, you don't have to pay everybody's airfare or anything like that. You just get everybody to agree to get together. Let's get together. Let's have fun. Let's go out. Let's go to dinner. Let's go see some of the local sites. And then let's talk about what we're going to do in 2020. You know, so at the end of 90 days, you basically want to celebrate those people who said, hey, I'm in it all the way with you. And again, you know, if they did not reach their goals, never bring that up. Talk about what they did accomplish. Talk about what you do like about them. Hey, man, one thing I really appreciate, John, is, you know, you were always there. I mean, on the training calls, you were there. I could see that you posted in the Facebook groups, you know, some really great material. You also recognized leaders in your line, in your team. Even for the smallest act, you know, if somebody sponsored their first customer, you made a big deal of it. I'm going to tell you something. You're the right kind of leader that's going to go far in this business, John. I really appreciate you. You know, it's just praising them. Now, you didn't say, hey, well, John, you didn't hit that rank, you know, so you said that was your goal. So, you know, what exactly happened, you know? We never bring that up, right? So it's the good things that they did do, what they did accomplish, what you do appreciate about them. And those are the things that we really want to hone in on. And when we celebrate 90 days. Now, here's the other thing. After 90 days, what? After 90 days, what do you do now? Well, we have to remember, I talked about this in your second 30 days of your 90-day plan, that everybody runs on different time cycles. So that you might be in your second or third month. But you got new people that just joined. It's their very first month. Why would we not encourage them to do a 90-day run? We certainly would. And so you may not want to do another 90-day run after you did your 90-day run. I know after I did my 90-day run 21 years ago, I was exhausted. I was exhausted. But what I did was, after that, I worked it at my pace, but I honed in and I worked with my leaders. And I encouraged them to do a 90-day run. I explained how to do it. What should they look for? You know, the very things I've covered in these videos is what I talked to them about. And then I supported them. I supported them in their 90-day run. You know, coached them through it. If they want me to hold them accountable, then, you know, I'll say, you want me to hold you accountable? I mean, I'm not going to break your arm, and I'm not going to cuss you out. I'm not going to speak mean to you. Okay, that's just not me. Okay, but I'll let you know when you're not doing what you said you were going to do. Is that what you want me to do? Well, yeah, I want you to do that. I want you to kick my butt, man. Well, I won't kick your butt, but I'll give you a tap on your butt. How about that? Okay, all right, I'll do that. You know, something like that. So those are the things that we can do. So keep in mind, encourage, you know, if we let people come in and they have big dreams, but they don't have any goals, how are they going to achieve it? And that's the reason why you want them to do, you know, and if all they say, well, you know, I like the idea, Jeff, of a 90-day, but I'll be honest with you, with my work schedule, my family schedule, it would be a lot for me to do 30. Well, then I'll take your 30. I'll take your 30, and then I'm going to take what we get out of that 30. You know, that 30 days. And those people that join you, I'm going to get to know them because their circumstances may be a lot better than yours. And that is, they do have the time. They do have the resources. They do have the contacts. See, friends, we make this too much about ourselves, and it's not about us. It's about who do we know. We say, when someone says, well, I don't have time. Okay, who do you know that does? Oh, I don't have money. Oh, okay. Who do you know that does? See, I want people to understand right away, it's not about you. It's about who you know. And you know people that can change your life very fast, and in a very incredible way, if you will simply share the opportunity. The only way you're going to keep this opportunity is if you give it away. If you keep it to yourself, you're going to be broke. You're not going to be successful. It's all about giving it away. It's not about keeping it. And if you get good at giving it away, it's going to land on the right people. And then you may not be good at certain things. You know, I never consider myself good at sales. Okay, but there's some people who are very good at sales. Some people are great presenters. Some people are very good on stage. Some people are very great at mobilizing, getting people into action. See, the key thing is surround yourself with people who are better than you, and you can get wealthy in this business. But you have to be willing to do it. And people that you prospect and people that, you know, that are you're trying to onboard that joined you, but they're just sort of pushed, you know, they're holding back, and because they're making it too much about themselves. And what they have to understand, it's not about yourself. It's about the people that you knew. And the thing is, or no, and the thing is, I've met and worked with a lot of incredible people around the world that knew some incredible people. And as soon as that, they quit holding back, and then they gave that opportunity away to them, say, hey, I got something, I don't know if it's for you, it may not be. If it's not, that's cool. But I wouldn't feel good about it if I didn't share it with you. Have you got some time you could give me? So that's the thing, my friends. Just understand the 90-day plan is not difficult. What's difficult is the limitations that we put upon ourselves. And we come up with these false stories why we can't do it. Or, you know, false stories about why it's wrong, that I'll probably never achieve my goals. Again, it's not about you achieving your goals, it's who you become. It's about growing your team. It's about growing your volume. It's about growing your numbers. And you may not hit your goals. Maybe not, I agree, you may not. But what is going to change in your business by doing this is going to be incredible. And you're going to see the results. And then you're going to think, wow, why didn't I not do this sooner? I should have done this sooner. There are no failures in a 90-day plan or a 90-day run if you really commit and you just give it your all, help your people do the same, give it their all, then you're going to see great results. That's the thing. That's the thing to do. So your third month, this is the plan. The third month is all about tap rooting. It's all about getting into that group that resulted from those 6, helping to identify their 6 drivers. Now you have 36 drivers. Now this is where it really explodes. That's how I got to my numbers in my 90-day plan over 21 years ago, in 800 people in 90 days. You know, most of those numbers happened in the last month, not in the first 2 months. It was in the last month. It might have been even in the last week of the last month that those numbers really shot up. So that's the thing. It really takes on momentum. And that's the great thing too about it, is the fact that you're establishing speed. You're establishing a standard of how to do the business. This slow go approach doesn't work. It will never work. You'll never get your business off the ground. The best thing you can do is give it a push. And a 90-day run is the greatest way to do it. It's the greatest way to accomplish that. So I'm glad that some of you were able to join me. And I want to wish all of you a successful, very successful 2020. This is the time to, think big, dream big, and then match it with a work ethic that, you're going to be very resolute and you're going to be very committed. That this is not going to be just another year. This is going to be a year that you're going to begin it with a strong push. It's January 1st, my friends. This is the time to do it, man. Kick the ball. Get on the field. Don't sit in the bleachers. Don't watch the game. Be in the game. Feel the adrenaline that comes from this. And be the leader that you were meant to be. You can do it. Half this battle is just making up your mind. So don't let this year be just like last year. Let it be a year that you start with speed and you start with a 90-day plan. Thanks for getting on this call tonight. I appreciate it. Love you. And then I will see you back on Friday. I'll give you a shout out. Friday, I'm going to open it up to questions. And going to have some exciting things too. I've got some speakers too I'm going to be lining up and talking to. And I'm excited about what we're going to be talking about, the subjects, interesting people. Also, people I want to share stories, how network marketing has changed their life in a very positive way. Thanks again for getting on the call. Everyone, happy New Year, and I love all you guys. Take care.